chakra system is evolving and elevating our consciousness, which is shifting the energy on the planet, allowing us to access the higher frequencies. By understanding the importance of how your values affect your chakras, you can then activate the higher dimensional chakra system.
And you'll also discover the benefits of living in the higher frequencies, and then walk away with some easy everyday practices to make your life, easier, simpler, more magical. And we're going to also take you through a process at the beginning.
So I'm Josette Diaz. My business is Guidance to Wellness, and I'm a guide and champion to women. I transform women's lives through self-mastery. So I do one-on-one coaching, I have courses, and I also have a group program that is getting ready to launch, Seasons of the Soul.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I'm Lisa, the counseless, and I'm an intuitive mentor and a visibility expert. And I work with women to help them break through the barriers that are keeping them from having that next level success and visibility. And and from having the abundance that the universe wants to give them. And so I'm also a best-selling author, a speaker, and internationally recognized in the fields of business and online marketing and awakening consciousness.
So go ahead, Lisa.
So today we're gonna help you understand the chakra system and how it's evolving as the consciousness evolves and shifts the energy on the planet. That's kind of what's going on. And so Josette and I come from different, our tribes teach different things. And so we're just kind of bringing them together so that people can understand why we're teaching what we're teaching and how they kind of go together.
Yes, that's beautiful, because the chakra system that we currently work with generally, at least in the Western Hemisphere, we are concentrated on the top 7 or the 7 main chakras. And to just give you an overview of that chakra system, your chakras begin to develop as you are in the womb. So your root chakra begins to develop and your sacral develops at different stages of your growth, meaning that they are programmed. So it's your energy center that holds these different patterns that you experience throughout your life. And the chakra system can become blocked if there is something that doesn't get healed or acknowledged, and it creates like this thickness of energy in the chakra. And so knowing how to heal that part of your energy system makes sure that it's not getting backed up, because if it's blocked in one area, it then affects the other chakras. And the teaching that Lisa does that's so beautiful is that higher level. So you want to be able to manage your energy system so that you can keep that frequency going at a higher vibration.
Yeah. So what we would like to do is just give you kind of an example of just a little process of energy, an energy work process. And so just real briefly, what we're going to have you do is close your eyes. And I'm just going to take you through a very short meditation, and then to open your hand chakras. And then Josette's going to take you through a process. So go ahead and just close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths. And you can put your hand on your heart. I like to do that. And just imagine this beautiful white light coming down into your crown chakra, the top of your head, all the way down your spinal cord column, that beautiful column of light within you, just purifying and cleansing everything that might be blocked, just purifying, cleansing, rinsing clean, and just going through your entire body, every cell, atom, and electron of your being, filling up with this beautiful white light, light of purity, innocence, ascension. Just imagine as you're holding this energy in your field, just imagine that the energy that you're seeing, there's like a golden energy that's coming in. So your field is lit up by white light, and there's this beautiful golden light coming in from the top of your crown. And it's going to go down your throat, into your shoulders, and into your hands, all the way down your arms and into your hands. And feel your palms of your hands. Feel the inside of the palms of your hands. You might want to put your hands up on top of your thighs or just up in the air. And just imagine there's a swirling energy center right in the middle of your palms. And just sense it. If you see it, feel it, it's all good. If there's nothing there, that's good too. And just imagine the swirling energy in the palms of your hands, spinning, opening up, getting wider. You might feel some warmth or some sort of sensation, tingling or throbbing or something. That's just your chakras opening up, this energy field opening up in your hands. And we're going to play with some energy. So keep that spinning energy happening and go ahead and open your eyes, and Josette's going to take you through a process.
So now that you have an introduction to what that feels like in the palms of your hands, what I'd like to take you through is an opening of the hand chakras. So you're going to place your hands, your left hand down, your right hand up, and make a fist. And then you're going to squeeze 12 times. And now we're going to switch it. And we're going to do another 12 times. Now what I want you to do is to put your palms facing each other and notice what you feel coming out of your palms. And then you can move your hands around, like play with it like a ball. Stretch it out, bring it back. Notice how the energy is there. And what does that feel like to you? It gives you an example of how malleable energy is and how it changes form as you move your hands around, stretching them out, bringing them back, shaping it as a ball, like dough or something. And that gives you this beautiful example of the malleability of energy. And with that idea in mind, that leads you to where else does energy take you? So I think that knowing how this feels, let's talk a little bit about the values that we have around the 7 chakras. And each chakra relates to a different area of where beliefs have been programmed in our system. So if we start with the root chakra, you want to look at your values and how does that match up with what is happening in your belief system? So when you notice that, say that I value freedom, and yet in my belief system programming in my root chakra, I might have a conflict there. Maybe I feel I need to ask for permission a lot, or I need other people's opinions to motivate me to make decisions. And yet that conflicts with my personal value of freedom. So it's not really aligning. That misalignment creates the blocks that I mentioned earlier. And so you want to bring your awareness to this, the way that you think about things, how you respond to life, how you're behaving, what actions do you take. So many times, and I'm sure everyone can attest to this in their own lives, we all work on automatic responses. Things are happening so fast, so often, that we mostly do not really slow down enough and consider what our values are versus how we are responding based on old belief patterns. And so because of that, we kind of trip over ourselves a little bit. Like we'll hear ourselves say, oh, I already knew that. Why did I make that decision? I've done that plenty of times. And so allowing yourself to examine what your values are based on these programmed belief systems and looking at the energy in your field and where you are misaligning yourself, as you felt in your hands, you can shift that energy, you can move it and play with it. And it's really not as complicated as I think we make it to be. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to mention to you. I think that it's really important that the more that we know about our values and our belief system and how much we are aligning or misaligning, it really impacts our decisions and it impacts our awareness. And the higher our awareness is, the easier it is for us to maintain a higher frequency, to tap into that vibration that's higher. And then we can maintain it because we understand ourselves more.
Yeah. Alignment's super important. And just those little checks and balances, the awareness is huge. So being aware, consciously aware of, as you're moving through your day, of what you're choosing, of what thoughts, actions, and behaviors you're choosing,
Yeah.
so that you can choose to act in that higher frequency. So for instance, a higher frequency would be, if you're choosing, if everything around you is looks like it's chaotic, you're going through your day and everything's like not what you want it to be, you can have a choice to stay there in that vibration, which is very low, or you can choose to think about gratitude or joy, which are higher frequencies. So you get to have that choice, and that shifts your energy. That shifts your energy into a higher vibration. So everything's energy. We're energy. We have energy systems around us. We have an energy field around us, and we can impact people far, far away from us through our energy field. And so it's really important that we all become more conscious of our energy and what we're thinking, what we're saying, how we're responding to life. And so the more that you practice these, conscious choices, the more that you're living in the higher frequency, because you catch yourself and then you're aware that you have this choice and you're like, wait, I get to choose this. This feels much better. I like living here better. Right. And so you continue to make those choices, and that creates a different pattern, a different habit for you, different program for you.
Lisa, do you have any tips on how to remind yourself to be focused in that direction? When you first start doing it, it's like, I know that people can use affirmations to shift how they think. Are there any other tools or direction that you can provide to create that habit?
I really love journaling. And the reason I love journaling is not to say that I wrote a page every day, but when I think of something, or when I have a story that runs in my head and I'm like, what is that about? Then I can write and journal about it. And it helps me understand, is that story true? Where did that pattern come from? And it just kind of creates this awareness, so that the more you do that, the more awareness you have in what your stories are and what these unconscious, autopilot programs we're running. That's one of my favorites. Affirmations are great, but I just don't feel like they hit that deep anymore.
Yeah.
I think we need to go deeper with that. And that really comes back to examining you and your truth and what's true for you. Is what you're telling yourself true? Is it really true for you? Right. And that goes
Yes.
back to your values.
And that's really great. I love the journaling because I agree with you. I mean, putting that energy onto page really starts to clarify everything, like you were saying. And one of the things that with affirmations, yes, they did used to work really great. And now I think I like to use them as reframes
Mhm.
more than like writing it down 21 times for, X
Right.
amount or 21 days of however the rule used to be. Um, I also would like to know from you, do you have a way of gauging when you're slipping out of the higher frequency? What kinds of cues maybe can you course correct to keep yourself in that higher frequency?
Yeah. So the higher frequencies are your open heart of love and joy and gratitude. Those are really high frequencies. So I always like to say that your true north is joy. If you're doing things you really love to do, if you're in joy, you're on the right track. You are on the right track. And so anything that's not of that
Mm,
is not of love. Anything that is not love is fear. So we're either coming from love or fear. And so if you look at it that way, it's kind of easy to say, am I in love or fear? And if I'm in fear, what am I fearing? What's
yeah.
stopping me from fully opening and being in love? And I think that can make it just really simple.
Mm. Yeah, that is really simple. And it's
Yeah.
easy to self-examine, right? Because
Right.
when you feel afraid, you feel it in your body.
Yeah.
And then
Or
when
even if you're not in love, I mean, if you're not
yeah.
in joy,
Mhm.
then there's something else. And that something else is that lower frequency.
Yeah. Yeah, that keeps it really simple. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I think so. And one of the things that I wanted to mention also about journaling is after you do it for a while and
Mhm.
you like you have a thought and you go to your journal and you start writing, stuff will come through. You'll
Yeah.
just get so much and you'll just write and the writing may not look like yours. Just keep writing and you're going to get so much information. And sometimes when I'm journaling and that happens and things are flowing through me, I don't even know what I'm writing and I'll come back and look at it maybe a week later because it's
Yeah.
like so much information, so much energy. But that's another reason. That's another reason why I like journaling is just it opens the flow of downloads to come through, inspiration to come through.
Yes, don't you notice when you journal and you get real clarity around things that other pieces start manifesting in your life, just boom, boom, boom. Like the things you think, oh, I really could use XYZ. And then those people start showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so true. I mean, there's so many ways that so the higher your vibration, the faster you manifest.
Mhm.
The more conscious you are, the more you can manifest the reality that you want. And so it's really about deconditioning everything that we've learned,
Yeah.
um, and consciously choosing how you want to live your life.
Yes.
And when you do that, you're in the higher
Mhm.
frequencies.
Right. And I love that you mention words, that staying in using words that are in a higher frequency are going to keep you in that maintenance, that maintaining the higher frequency, so you don't
Yeah.
slip as much. And really, just being that observer, I think, can help with that. Do you agree?
Yes. Being the observer, that's one of the first things um, that helped me. I
Hmm.
remember when I first started meditating and got into this blissful state. I'm like, oh, what is this? This is awesome. I want to do this some more. And pretty soon you can start observing your reality from a different vantage point and you can see yourself and look at yourself objectively instead of being in it. And
Hmm.
that's so helpful.
Yeah.
And you can do that just through a very short meditation and just be in your body and meditate and be in front of your body and look at yourself and
Yeah.
fly around if you want, or do whatever you want to do, but you can do whatever you want to do in your meditations. But, being the observer is, super helpful. What do you think? I mean, does that?
Oh, I use that tool so often, because it helps you to monitor how you speak, the way that you phrase things. The other thing that I've noticed, when I use the observer, like everybody slips, right? I mean, things happen in life and you get, they might be hot button issues for you. And sometimes it kind of feels as if you're slipping, and that's really not accurate. It just means another exposure to an issue that is rooted in your energetic system.
That needs to be, it's coming up to
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It's another piece of it that is ready to just be healed even deeper and witnessed even deeper. And so I practice shifting my mind. I mean, I go through this all the time where I have to shift how I'm thinking about something that might have been a hot button issue for me and takes me into a negative spiral. And if I catch myself early enough, I don't cause myself as much pain. Otherwise, it can be painful to then sort of work your way back out of that mindset of being, catching the what do they call it? Like the thought worm.
Yeah,
that just
and that's
can take you off.
So when we're in our mind, when we're in our mental mind, it can be a not so great place to live from. And so
Right.
we're when you live from your heart, in heartfelt, and those energies of the higher frequencies, then you're not stuck in that mental chatter of all that stuff that keeps going around in circles.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to say is the thoughts that you have. If you catch yourself saying something and then you catch yourself saying it again, and you hear yourself saying it again, it's like, really examine that. I'm trying, that kind of, if you're saying, I'm trying, I'm working on it.
Yes.
Am I working on it? Am I really working on it? Like, what's going on there? So really dive a little deeper into that.
Get curious.
Thoughts and words. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Get curious. I know there are certain words that I have on a list of do not use. I don't use the word but. I'll catch myself using it. Just, should, could, would.
Yeah.
Try to me is, pardon the expression, a little half-ass.
Yeah.
So I avoid using try, because it really doesn't need to fit.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you're not aware of your values, and you're just going through life on autopilot, and Josette, you have a great quiz that you offer in your tribe that helps people discover their value system. Just a super easy way to discover your top values.
Yes.
And that's super helpful just as a start.
Yes. And you get to reevaluate your values every so often. I like to say, do it about once every quarter, a quarter to 6 months, because depending on what you have going on in your life, they're going to shift. And you have more than 5. You just generally live in 5 most of the time. They're your more frequently used values. And I think knowing those values really, really helps you to understand and see when you're not in alignment. Like I mentioned, the example around freedom, that's a good one for, I relate to that a lot, which is why I use that example. Yeah. So I think that it's something that you can really see your direction, and also it helps you set up boundaries, and boundaries are really about you, not about other people. So you're putting those boundaries in place as to what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do, where I'm not willing to go. And as long as that's matching and aligning with your value system, those beliefs will start to just shift. And, observing your responses is huge.
Yeah. And I think the thing that we're all learning as we go through this, our path, our life journey is to be to be more consistently in the higher frequencies. So life is easier. It's more pleasant. It's more joyful. And who doesn't want that? And that's what we have access to. It's like if you don't like the reality that you have, there's work that you can do to change that and shift it quickly. Yesterday, we did a live on our Finding Me tribe, and we talked about the card that we pulled was friendship. And we talked about how having people reflect back to, having people around you that are able to reflect back to you what you need to see in yourself that may you may not like to see it, but it's helpful because that's how you grow. This is how we shift. And so being open to do the work, I think is really important too.
It's really big. What do you think is what's the biggest thing that you would say keeps the benefit of the frequency being high, you in a receiving mode? What do you think that is? You know what I'm asking?
You mean
I said it backwards.
It.
I know. I'm like, wait, what did I say? I guess I'm really, I'm asking about your heart. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the benefit of keeping your frequency high so your heart's open?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you can feel alive. You feel alive. And when you can truly feel your heart energy, it is the most pure essence of who you are. It is your truth. And living from that place is authentic. It's honest. It's like you don't have to hide if you can get to that place. You're not hiding anymore. And so the blocks kind of just disappear.
Yeah.
They just break up.
Right. And there's not you don't even have to focus on it as much, right?
Yeah.
Because it just automatically goes with that. When that frequency exists, that can't exist in that space.
Exactly.
Because love is the highest frequency.
Yeah.
So that helps you move out of chaos and struggle and assists you in moving into flow. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, you probably see a lot of that online of how to move into flow, the flow state and all these things, right? It's kind of a buzzword, but flow is so much better than being stuck. Who doesn't want to be in flow? And when you're feeling stuck, it's because you're in that mental mode of analyzing and ruminating over things. And that's not going to move you forward. So the energy is changing on the planet, and we are not fixing things with our mind anymore. We're living from our heart. That's what we're learning to do, is to open our hearts because we all have access to these beautiful higher frequencies. We all have access to them. And opening your heart and living from that space instead of trying to figure things out with your mind, allowing things to come through you. So much easier. It's just so much easier and more pleasant. And so the mind,
I said, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. It just says that the mind is it's so last year. It's so 2 years ago. No, it's just not, it's not in charge anymore. Don't let it be in charge anymore.
That's right. And I think that one of the things that when you do get stuck in that process of flow, you might be moving along, everything's great. And then all of a sudden you come up with a particular issue and you kind of go, oof, I don't know how to get past that. And so all that is dropping into your body, opening your heart, shifting a perception, like looking for, I like to say, looking for the third door, that unknown sort of resolution to something, and that whooshes you forward. So it's like the river going down its path, and here's a boulder. How is it going to get, it can't go through the boulder. It can't just keep, shoving into the boulder and getting through. It has to be malleable, and it moves around the boulder. It whooshes around. So that's like energy flowing through. So it's really just a matter of like, understanding your own flow, your rhythm, being in connection with that, like you said, through opening your heart and receiving more love and abundance, that allows you to whoosh forward and shift your perceptions easier, rather than the mind figuring it out.
Yeah.
I had to put that all into one sentence.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that's super helpful for people that are listening, because just different ways of looking at things helps you have a different perspective, so that you can look at things differently, and everybody's learning differently too. But I think the exciting thing about, living in the higher frequencies and operating from your heart is that it's just, there's so many magical things about it. Life just feels magical. It just does. There's like opportunities come, synchronicities come. You don't have to work hard. You just like, things just come to you because you're in this higher frequency, and you're living from this place of trust in yourself, trust and having faith that yeah, you're here for a reason, and you're meant to have it all. And moving forward towards joy, that's what we're here to do, is be in joy. Figure out how to do that, but move towards it, open your heart and move towards that joy. And if you're doing that, then the universe is just going to supply you. It's going to source and supply you. It just works that way. And it may not seem like it for some people who are still really trying to figure things out and work real hard and try and put all the pieces together. And it's hard to let go of that.
Right. It can't be that easy. Right?
Yeah. But because the energies are changing in the last couple of years, especially, that just doesn't work anymore. That's not the way to operate. That's not the new operating template of where we're going. I'll just put it that way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. The operating template. Yeah. That's so true. It's so true. Yeah, I love that.
So, yeah. So I just, I think in the tribe that I run, the Rise Up tribe, we're activating the higher chakra system, which helps us expand and evolve. And so this is happening anyway. We're all being upgraded. We're all being activated. We're all getting these energies. But when you have an activation that helps you kind of really hone in on that energy and integrate it into your body, it just really helps to anchor that frequency into, so you embody that frequency. And so that's why I like to do these higher chakra activations, because you not only learn what they are, for instance, like the root chakra from the older system was all survival, safety, security, survival. And it's when we move up into the fifth dimension and higher, it goes into spiritual enlightenment. Such a different frequency, such a different way of living. So we're all being, pulled towards that, but to be able to understand it and access that in a way that you can anchor it into your bodies is super helpful, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just a matter of choosing to have that awareness. I mean, it sounds all easy, or sort of, maybe some people couldn't get their mind around that because we're in our mind so much. Yet, if you were to really just, like you were saying, Lisa, focus on joy, focus on love, focus on opening your heart, and you did that every day I'll bet you'll be surprised at what happens and what comes to you.
Yes. It's
And
like the opposite of what you think,
yes,
right?
exactly, exactly. And the more often that you can do that, it's going to change your actions and your behaviors. And then you'll start to see your thoughts change. You know, things that bothered you before, like maybe somebody getting in the grocery line for 15 items who had 20 would really get you. And now it doesn't.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Totally. I love that example because there are things that, you know, the driver in front of you that's not going fast enough.
right.
Let go.
Yeah.
Just let go and be enjoy.
Mm,
Enjoy
right.
your space that you're in because you know we're really not in control. We're really
No,
not in control. So
no, we are
pretending like
not.
we're in control is suffering, right?
That's so true. I know, as much as we think we're in control, we really are not. Anything can happen at any moment.
Mhm. Yeah.
It can be
Yeah.
good and it cannot be good. So
Yeah. I think that's
I think
great.
that, yeah, I think that how we match those the values with, like you were talking about, the security around the root chakra, in order to access that spiritual enlightenment in the fifth dimension for the chakras,
Mhm.
you need to master to a certain level that value system of security, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
that belief system pattern that we talked about in the beginning of our conversation around, we're just using the root chakra because it's kind of easy to go to and it's number one. So when we talk about that, understanding it and knowing what those beliefs are so that you get a better grip on your responses. And when I say grip, I'm talking about awareness. So having that awareness of the belief system you were programmed with, knowing that it may or may not match your value. If it's in alignment, great, easy peasy. If it's not, do some healing. And then that will lead you to holding the frequency of what Lisa teaches, that spiritual enlightenment in the fifth dimension, which is where we're all headed. So I kind of feel like we play volleyball. I do the set and you pound it across the net.
And it's not one or the other, right? It's not
Right.
one or the other.
Yeah.
We're learning to flow
Mm-hmm.
towards the higher frequencies more often, but it's,
Right.
you know, we're here in this density and there's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's, you know, and so we get to practice every
Mhm.
day. We get to
Yes,
practice
every
with,
day.
you know, and so use this as a playground. Life is your playground, and you get to have all these opportunities that are showing you what needs to be healed, what needs to
Right.
shift, what is
Yeah.
out of alignment. And if you look at it that way, it's a little more easy to go through life and not get so frustrated and overwhelmed, I think.
Yes. And when you find yourself frustrated, that's when it's time to slow it down. Use the tool, like you mentioned, journaling, get yourself back into a place of where you can get into your joy and into your heart. And then it will, like you said, whoosh everything away. Like it'll just clear the blocks, start to move out of your way.
You know, and I think a lot of people don't even know what brings them joy. And so that would be something to maybe make a list of the things that you really like to do,
Good.
that or like to, or who you want, you know, whatever it is that brings you joy. If it's dreaming about who you want to become, or if it's playing with, you know, your grandkids or whatever it is, do that
Yeah.
thing more often. And the more often you do it, the higher your frequency is, the more you attract that frequency to you.
Yes, and using a gratitude practice that you mentioned earlier is like really one of the ways to start to achieve that and bring it into your life so much. So what I enjoy doing is I take words. I don't go with like a long, thing about what I want or what I'd like to see in my life or, so joy. I want more joy. So I bring that into my heart and I just look for the sparks of joy that exist now. And it's real easy to go to my children, my dog. They're like, they're my heart. Yeah, my dog's in there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it allows you to see the sparks that you already have, and then see them start to expand and grow, and then focus in on that joy until it just fills your heart to an emotional level. And when you get that emotion, then you're in truest form of gratitude. And that brings in all of the joy, like you were talking about, that you get to see, and it moves in more clearly for you. I love doing that gratitude practice. I do like a list of 4 words. I can't really handle more than that. I do 4 at a time.
I think when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, and I just say what I'm grateful for, because it just like makes your day so much. I mean, you just start with what you're grateful for. And I mean, we all have so much to be grateful for, even if we don't think we do.
Right.
If you start looking at it, you'll find you have abundance where you didn't think you did.
That's right. And abundance comes in so many forms. I was just saying abundance comes in so many different forms.
It does. It really does. Yeah, I love gratitude work. And another way to bring in the higher frequencies is by working with light. And so we do that in my tribe. We're working with the different light rays, which are associated with the chakra system. I mean, they don't have to be associated with the chakra system, but I'm putting them together so that we can work with the rays and the beams of light on those different light rays to help us in the activation of the higher frequency chakra system.
Such a beautiful tribe. It's really beautiful. And to bring that level of frequency for people's awareness, and so that you continue to focus on that higher level of frequency, brings all of those thoughts up. That's what I found by being in your tribe. I love being there. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the tribe, your tribe, my tribe, they just go so well together. Because you really do have to work on, we all have healing to do.
Yeah.
At those base chakra, at the lower 3D chakra level.
Yeah.
We have work to be done. And even if we're here on a higher frequency in one area, and we're on a lower frequency in another area, we, in order to balance that out, we need to be working on ourselves in many different ways. So super helpful to know the values too. I love that quiz.
Yeah, it's so true. I think that if we continue to, when we say work, it does make it feel heavy, yet it's not really heavy. It really is just a matter of choice and liberation, really. Yeah, it's very liberating to heal yourself, because you're not the same person you were yesterday than you are today, because you've made decisions along between yesterday and today. So you can make decisions that actually impact your life in such a large way, so that you can hold the space for that higher frequency and really vibrate at a level that keeps you in that love space where you're thinking.
Yes, I love that. Liberation is a great word, because it's freedom. We're freeing ourselves from the stuff as we heal. The work is freedom.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm use that from now on.
It just came to me while we were talking about it.
Yeah, it's perfect. So yeah, we would love to have you join our tribes. Josette, you want to talk about your tribe real quick?
Yes. My tribe name is Gaining Self-Esteem Through Heart-Centered Values. Yes, I know how long it is. And it's about bringing your self-awareness in alignment with your values, so that you can expand your consciousness to ground your energy and your earthly practices. So I've talked about it throughout our whole conversation around matching the values with the programming of your belief systems. And that is part of what we do. We also, bring in other tools to kind of help us whoosh through our flow when we get into those big boulders or put into our way. So there's more to it than just that. At the same time, those are the main concepts of gaining self-esteem through heart-centered values. And I'd love to see you there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's a great tribe. So many good things. People are saying so many good things about it too.
Thank you.
In the Telegram. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the tribe I have is called Rise Up and Embody Your Infinite Light. And so this is, again, teaching you to work with light and increase your frequency, activate your higher dimensional chakras. And one of the benefits of doing this liberating work, liberation, is not hiding from yourself anymore. And I think, many of us, we had a conversation on one of our panel discussions about self-esteem and self-worth and how we all want to belong, we all want to matter, but we hide from our true selves because we don't think we're enough. And so that stuff, that affects how you show up in life in many different areas. And so being able to use light to raise your frequency and help you feel seen and heard and get visible is super important. And then we both co-host, we're co-hosting a tribe. You want to talk about that?
Sure. It's Finding Me, Coming Home to Your Divinity. And Lisa and I really love to be playful. And so we wanted to do this as a discussion tribe where we pull oracle cards. She has a deck, I have a deck, and then we both pull a card and we have conversation about it. And it's really magical and fun and easy, and you will get some aha moments through the conversation because what comes up is always so relative. It's funny how that happens, and it's always relative when we have the conversation and everyone has something to say. So it's really fun, and
it's super
very
fun.
much
And
in flow.
we meet once a month, so it's easy. Just come join us and have some fun and be playful and engage in conversation, and you'll just learn so much more about yourself and others. Again, it's a place for others that can reflect to you more ahas for you to uncover. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And we love talking about this subject, obviously.
It's kind of fun.
So join us on our tribes. The links will be below, and we'd love to see you there. So hope to see you there.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.